Hi everyone, welcome to my new book channel. We're gonna pause the video right here, which is crazy because we're basically only 10 seconds into this video. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I look so uncomfortable in my intro. There's just something that looks very off, like I look very uncomfortable. So I don't think I'm gonna use that intro. Welcome to my booktube channel. This channel is going to be primarily book content stuff, bookish things. Who knows, I might vlog here and there. I'm just excited to be back in the YouTube space. I used to make YouTube videos back in the day. I still love TikTok and Instagram. There's just so many more like limits there, especially when it comes to book content. I love doing book reviews, but because of Instagram's 3-minute rule, like obviously you can post videos that are longer than 3 minutes, but they just won't push them out to new audiences. And let's be real, short form is where it's at on TikTok. So there are so many times where I'm filming a review and there's a ton more things I want to say, but I have to cut it down. I have to cut it down to these short versions, which I feel like I just never even get all my thoughts across. So I'm really excited to be on YouTube again. Yeah, I thought it'd be really fun to do a little get to know me video for my first video. I'm going to also just share some fun facts about me, maybe in the end of this video or like throughout this video. I haven't really decided how I want to edit this. I think the way I'm going to do it is every book question I answer, I'll throw a fun fact about myself in between. That'd be fun. Okay, first question, why did you start this channel? Well, for full transparency, I am currently, Rainy everybody, unemployed right now. So I made the decision to step down from my last job because I was looking for somewhat of a career. Sorry, I'm gonna get a little closer. I was looking for somewhat of a career change. So professionally, I've worked in the social media marketing space my whole career. And to preface, I've worked in a nonprofit and a family business, which I love because I'm the type of person that loves to feel like I'm making an impact. So being in a smaller company really made me feel like the work I was doing was worthwhile. However, it also led to burnout. We have a lot of like trees out front and sometimes I think it's a person and it kind of freaks me out. So I've always loved social media, but the more I worked in it professionally, the more just burnt out I was getting and I was starting to almost resent it. But I don't want to resent social media. So I think right now, I mean, who knows, I might change my mind down the road, but as of right now, I think I just don't want to work in it professionally anymore so that I can enjoy it a lot more in my personal life. Hello again. I want to pop in here and kind of expand on the answer because I want to say that it's not that I never want to work in social media again. It's more that I think I'm just going to be a little more picky and choosy. Like if the right opportunity came around or the right, company or whatnot, I would 100% work in social media still. In case any potential future employers see this video and it's for a social media position I'm applying for, I don't want them to think that I resent social media. I love social media. It's all going to depend on the opportunity or the company. So I just want to put that out there. Obviously, with being unemployed, I have a lot more time on my hands. So I've been working on just some creative projects while I figure out kind of my next career move. So that's the technical side of that answer. And the other side of the answer is I'm just really passionate about creating content. And I am so excited to be creating content about books again. During the pandemic, I started my TikTok basically just as a book account. And then it kind of shifted into miscellaneous lifestyle stuff. And now I'm back to basically solely being a book talk account. I kind of wanted to come back to the YouTube space and create book content because like I mentioned in my intro, I feel like there's just more limitations on some of the other platforms. So it'll be really fun to create more long form content. All right, so fun fact about myself. I guess this is kind of book related. Sorry about that. But I just recently got a Kindle. So I saw this in someone's comment section where it was like the pipeline of people that go from being like, I'll never get a Kindle to loving their Kindle is a canon event. Everyone I talked to that had a Kindle or an e-reader said that it changed their lives. And I was just in the mindset of not wanting to give up buying physical books, which is kind of a weird mindset. At the end of the day, I want books on my shelf that I know I will love. And also if I can read more on my Kindle, then like, why would I be against that? So anyways, I ended up getting a Kindle and I do love it. I will say I still love reading physical books, but I feel like I've been more motivated to read with the Kindle, and I've been able to read a lot more because I love to read like in bed or lying down and not in bright lights. What are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? So I think for me, the like unique perspective that I will be bringing, now I don't know, like I haven't really, to be honest, watched a lot of booktubers, so I'm excited to connect with a lot of you, but I think I'm gonna bring a nice like raw and real authenticity to the platform. The way I do reviews is very authentic by sharing my thoughts throughout the book, and then adding clips to that to the final review. And I always share my honest thoughts. I am very aware that everyone's gonna have an opinion, and not everyone's opinion is going to be the same as yours. Like not everyone's gonna love the same books, not everyone's gonna love the same movies, not everyone's gonna love the same shows, I will always share my honest thoughts, even if it's a book that's super loved by people. If I don't love it, then I don't love it. So I'm not really afraid to share my true feelings about books. And honestly, I think I'm just gonna bring a realness to this space. I feel like with social media in general, everyone is striving for that clean gal, kind of perfect looking aesthetic. And my space is not always clean. I'm not always put together. If you ever go look at any of my reviews on my other platforms, like half the time I'm in a hoodie and like a bun in my hair, or I'm on the couch lying down. My life is really ordinary. Another fact about myself, I got married last year and we honeymooned in France and Italy. So my husband and I, both of our, like at the top of our travel bucket list was Italy for so many years. So I knew if we were to get married one day, we were going to honeymoon in Italy. Went to Paris in high school, but it was a school trip. So I got to obviously see a lot of things, but traveling for yourself versus like a school trip is very different. So I knew I wanted to go back one day, but we also did the south of France also, and we did Monaco, and it was honestly such a dream trip. The south of France was absolutely breathtaking. I have such core memories. Like swimming in the ocean in the morning time was one of the highlights of my life. It was so beautiful. Monaco was incredible. It was really cool seeing the F1 track in real life. Controversial opinion. So when we were doing research to go to Italy, Rome was a very common choice among people. And I gotta say, we didn't love Rome. And to give Rome the benefit of the doubt, there was things that I think affected that reasoning. One was they were preparing for their Jubilee, so a lot of things were under construction when we were there. We were there during a heat wave. It was like 38 degrees by noon, and the area we were in felt really safe. It was a nice hotel. The area was so dirty. I was kind of taken aback. There was just beer bottles and garbage everywhere, and it was crazy. And there was also just a lot of graffiti on the buildings. It was on these buildings that looked historic, so that kind of threw me off. And I sounded like such a hater there, but we didn't let, I don't know where the clip is. I thought I talked about it in the clip that I was just editing, but we didn't let this ruin our trip. We still had a good time in Rome, and there were still highlights from our Rome leg of the trip. I'm gonna insert pictures now because I want you to see that there was obviously some beauty to Rome. I think we were just dealt kind of a weird hand of cards during our time there. But yeah, no, we didn't let it ruin our honeymoon, and we still had a good time. Now, Florence was a different story. We loved Florence. Florence was incredible. I loved Florence so much. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now, but I'll throw in pictures. The movie theater / library is literally a book lover's dream. You need to go there if you're going to Florence. What are you most excited for about this new channel? I am just really excited to start creating long form content again and connecting with more book creators. I feel like on Instagram I have a good small community. I feel like I've connected with a lot of book creators through like the DMs and stuff. TikTok is a little different. I feel like I get more views on there, but not as much engagement, which ultimately is what I'm striving for. And I'm just happy to be here to talk about books and my thoughts and bookish things And I feel like the people that are really in the YouTube space are dedicated because, you know, long form content is no joke. Like, it takes a long time, even short form content, because working in social media, I know that it's not just as simple as filming a video and posting it and doing it in 1 minute. Like, these things take time. So kudos to all of the book creators that are on YouTube, because I know it's not easy all the time. Next fun fact, I ran my first 10K this year. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it was this year. I'm gonna try to keep this story a little short. Sorry, I feel like my fun facts are taking up so much time, but I guess this is the point. A little get to know me video. I started going to the gym consistently at the beginning of 2024 because I wanted to get in shape for the wedding. I wasn't shredding for the wedding, but I just wanted to feel my healthiest self. And I feel like coming into wedding year, I wasn't feeling my most confident self. So I decided to start going to the gym. Right after the wedding, my gym membership expired. I feel like I was just getting to a really good routine at that point. So I wanted to continue my fitness journey, and I decided to take up running. So, I mean, in 2023, I could barely run a kilometer without gassing out. I really just pushed myself really hard. It took time. I'm not the fastest runner. My average pace a lot of times is like a 9 something, you know, an 8 something sometimes, but I forgot. It's called induced rhinitis. I looked this up. I actually need to go to the doctor to see if I actually have it. If I ran for a long time or super fast, my nose would get really congested and it would get really inflamed, and I'd literally feel like I had this awful cold for like a week straight. And it would happen after I ran, so I just never really was a runner because I didn't want to go through that every time I ran. Over the year, I worked on a lot of good breathing techniques that now I can run without my nose getting congested. So I signed up for our big like city race. Like, we have a race weekend in the fall time of 2020. I guess it was the fall of 2024. I was doing pretty good in terms of training. Now winter came. I live in Ottawa, so winters are not great for running unless you have the equipment to run outdoors. And ironically, last year was the first winter in a long time where we had so much snow. Like, for the last few years before last winter, we were having kind of warm winters, or kind of, it was weird. We'd get snow late. Like, I remember my childhood, sometimes we'd get snow in October. And in the last few years, we would get snow in like December, like late December. Winter comes. I barely work out in the wintertime, which was a big mistake this year. I'm trying to kind of keep up with these habits throughout the wintertime. And then we got hit with an awful spring when it came to weather. It would be like hot for 2 days, and then it would be rainy or snowy. I don't think I started training until April of 2024. So I ran my first 10K around like a week before the actual race. So not the greatest. Race weekend comes, great experience. My personal experience was not the best. I had shin splints basically the first like 5 kilometers, and then it rained the second half of my race, so it wasn't the greatest. I also feel like I wasn't in the best shape because I had, you know, just come out of hibernation from winter time, so it wasn't the best, but I'm really proud of myself. I ended up doing another race in July, which was a 5K. And that one too, I got hit with weird weather. It was just, I mean, not weird weather. July's hot in Ottawa, but it was so hot. Like, that morning, the race is at 8 a.m. and I got up around like, I don't know, 6:45, and it was in like the low 20s, but for like 7 a.m. I was like, oh gosh, like it's gonna be like 30 degrees by the time we run this race. So it was hot. It was awful. And the last part of that race was kind of uphill, so not great. But yeah, I'm really proud that I did 2 races, and I plan to do more, and it's something that was really fun to work towards, and it was good for my health, so can't really beat that. Next question, why do you love reading? Why do I love reading? I feel like that's such a weird question because I feel like it's such an easy question, but so hard to answer. I mean, I feel like I love reading because I just love immersing myself into stories. I think it's because I am quite an emotional person. I feel the emotions of these characters. I think I just love reading stories for the feeling of it, I guess. I don't know if that answer makes any sense, but next fun fact about myself, I went to school for advertising and marketing communications management, and then my professional career, I worked at Canadian Geographic as their social media specialist for a few years, and then I worked as a marketing manager for a local pet business. I mean, CanGeo, some of the people there are some of my closest friends now. and I love the work that I did at both places. Yeah, I'm just really lucky that so far my professional career, I've had a lot of incredible opportunities, I've met incredible people, and I've done incredible work. Question 5, what book or series got you into reading? I would say the earliest things I can remember, aside from like children's books like Paper Bag Princess, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, I was a huge Judy Blume reader. I love Judy Blume. First book I can obviously think about that I read was Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I think the book about the 3 best friends was called like Just As Long As We're Together. I don't know if that is correct. I will fact check that later. But that book, I read Blubber, and then another one that popped up in my head too was Sarah Dessen. I read so many Sarah Dessen books back in the day. I'm ashamed of myself for not remembering to mention Twilight. That was a huge part of my childhood. And then just like kind of a bunch of miscellaneous books, which is kind of how I am now. Yeah, there are a couple of authors where I've read multiple of their books, like Frida McFadden and Charlie Dunlea. Is that how to say his name? Dunlea? I guess this will segue into my next fun fact. I've never been the type of person to have just like one person, I guess I've like idolized. Like one of my best friends is like an Ariana Grande stan. Like she has always been a huge Ariana fan. Like I've never had just like one person that I like idolize, I guess, but I love fandoms. Okay, to clarify that a little bit, what I meant to say was I love how passionate people are when it comes to certain fandoms. However, the people that take it too far, I don't support that. But, you know, if you're part of a fandom and you're just a fan of somebody and you connect with other people that are big fans also, I love that. Bring people together like that. But when it gets too crazy, it gets a little too chaotic. Because I just never feel like there's just one person I'm like the #1 fan of. There we go. That's the best way I can put it. All right. Question 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? I'm going to change this question a little bit and say, what would I ask my favorite authors? And honestly, I would just ask them all about their creative process when it comes to writing books, especially a specific book that I've read of theirs that I love. You know, the dream one day would be to write a book. I just feel like I have way too many ideas. I just obviously too have not had the time in life to write a book. And I would love to hear authors' advice on just how they brainstorm and then where they start, you know, in their book. Like, do they know the ending before they even really start? Little things like that I think would be super interesting and would be so fun to hear about different authors' creative processes. Another fun fact about myself is that I love cozy gaming. I have loved The Sims 2 for as long as I can remember. Every year I go through a phase where I will play The Sims 2 for like a week straight and then won't play it for months. But I tried some of the other versions of Sims, but something about The Sims 2 graphics are just top tier to me and I love it so much. Animal Crossing I don't play consistently anymore, but I loved it so much during the pandemic. Same with Breath of the Wild. Although I don't know if Breath of the Wild's technically a cozy game. My husband and I, we put in hours for Stardew Valley during the pandemic, also in Dinkum as well. But yeah, cozy gaming is so fun. It's fun it's kind of the same feeling as books to me where I just get lost in the world. I'm not the best designer in The Sims 2. Like honestly, if you were to look at all my houses, they were probably all very similar looking because there's just certain pieces that I love in the catalog of things you can decorate with. But I am a storyteller. Like I have lore about all my Sims and their backgrounds and I take it so seriously. Chapter, oh my gosh. All right, 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I think the hardest will honestly just be, it might be consistency, because I used to coin myself as not the most consistent reader. I would read 3 books in a week and then not read for 7 months. But because I'm unemployed and because I have a Kindle now, I've been reading so much more. But I fear that once I get a full-time job again, who knows how much I'll be reading or how much time I'll have to film content. But I've always been the type of person that if this is my true passion or something I really love to do, I will make time for it. But this will all really come down to how much I read, because obviously this channel, the purpose of it is to create book content. So if I stop reading, then I don't know what's going to happen. So that might be probably my biggest challenge, but we're just playing it by ear and seeing how it goes. Next fun fact about myself, I love movies. I love TV shows. I'm actually doing kind of like a side challenge right now where I made a movie jar and I am challenging myself to watch things that were on my Letterboxd. My top 4 right now, Shawshank Redemption, Sound of Music. Third movie I always switch out because it's always an animated movie. So when I was younger, I used to say The Lion King, and I mean, I still love The Lion King. And then on my Letterboxd, it was Mulan for a little bit, the animated version, not the live action. And then right now, it might be a Toy Story movie. I love the Toy Story franchise from 1 to 3. Number 4 we don't talk about. Oh, actually, I just switched it to Spirited Away. When did you start reading? I mean, I don't have a specific date or even probably age range. I mean, I was reading picture books when I was a kid, but I don't know, sometime in elementary school is probably when I started reading like chapter books. Fun fact about myself, I don't like seedy brown bread and I don't like sesame seeds. Like if it's on like a hamburger bun or, you know, a few pieces on sushi, I will deal. But if you're talking about like a pure sesame ball, I can't. Those are basically though the 2 things I don't like. I'm a very adventurous eater. I'm weird because I'm a texture person when it comes to food. I feel like when people say they're a texture person, it's because they don't like textures of food. But I like textures of food. I love something that's really chewy or something that, I don't know, might feel like a little slimy or like an oyster. I love different textures. Where do you read? Honestly, I mainly read at home. I, growing up, was the kind of kid that would get sick in cars, and even to this day, if I'm sitting in the back seat of a car and I'm on my phone, I will get nauseous feeling. Yeah, I mainly read from home, read from my couch. My couch is so comfy. I love reading in bed. Oh my gosh, okay, another fun fact about myself. I love like live shows. I love a concert. I love a musical. I love a drag show. I love seeing live performances. I just went to Stardew Symphony of Seasons not too long ago, which was a really fun experience. What kinds of books do you like to read? I would say I am 80% thriller and 20% romance drama specifically. I think I enjoy reading thrillers the most, but I've been really getting back into like romance. I started reading more romance this fall because I feel like everyone was posting really cute fall romance books and I was like, I want to be a part of this. Next fun fact, I have 3 pets. Well, technically I have 2 pets, but long story short, we're basically my husband's Nana's caretaker for her dog because she got moved into a care home. So we took ownership. I mean, there was no contract or anything, but we are basically the primary caretakers. Katie, little Bichon, put a picture of her up here. I mean, we treat her like our own dog, but you know, the situation's obviously just a little different. Like, she's not technically our dog. We obviously treat her like family and we love her to death, but she's not our dog. You know what I mean? But our cats, we adopted together, both of them. They're not from the same litter, but we adopted Luna. Put a picture of her here. She's our first child. We absolutely love Luna. Like, she's the perfect cat. There's literally nothing wrong with her. She has not a mean bone in her body. She is so grandma core. Like, the second she turned 5 years old, she just chills. She's so relaxed. Like, honestly, we got really lucky with having a cat like her because she's just perfect. You might hear me refer to her as Tuna, like Looney Tunes, Toonie, Looney. And then there's Evie. Her given name that we gave her was Eve, but I rarely call her Eve now. It's always just Evie. Also, I mean, perfect cat. She can be a little feisty sometimes, and not towards people. And not even towards Luna either. She's just so playful and always wants to play. She's the type of cat that is going to paw at Luna's legs when she doesn't want to be pawed at and try to pick fights with her. And we understand why Evie's like that because she came from a really rough household. When we got her medical records and like history about her, she was abused. Like, when we first got her, we got her right before the pandemic, so her first year with us was during lockdown. So yeah, she would just like lie on my chest. When we got Luna, she was never a super cuddly cat. Like, she would chill in our space, but she never would like climb up on us, and you know, we respected that. And I don't know if it's because when Evie came along, she just got more jealous because now Luna is like the cuddliest of cats, but Eve was like the opposite. Anytime I was sitting on the couch, she would climb up on me, snuggle into me, and it was just so sweet. In her records, it said she had like a dog bite mark in her neck. When we got her at the Humane Society, they literally said that a woman sat on her and then broke bones, which was crazy. She's always kind of been on the defense. Yeah, they have very different personalities, but we love them both so much. And then the last question here is, what does your book collection look like? So kind of going off of what I was saying earlier, my book collection is mainly thrillers, romance, some comic books. In 2026, I'm trying to just branch off into more genres and challenge myself. And then last fun fact about myself, I mean, one of the more like, not basic facts, but that I was adopted from China when I was 7 months old. Honestly, I dislike intros and outros because I never really know what to say. So thank you for tuning in to my new video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to connect with more book creators on here, and I hope you felt like you got to know me a bit more in this video, and I'm excited to start creating more book content. I mean, I think I started this channel at a really good time because we're going into December, so a lot of reading wrap-up, reading reviews. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys very soon. Don't forget to follow me on my other channels. I will put them here. I'm posting pretty consistently on TikTok right now and Instagram, and yeah, all right, bye.